what are the benefits of ATMs to the customers and to the banks? Benefit of ATMs to the customers, benefit of ATMs to the banks. Shahil from Kalyan says, please explain worksite ATM and cash dispenser. Worksite ATM, as I told you, if an ATM is located inside the premises of an organization, suppose there is an organization which is occupying a huge space and only employees can enter that premises, and one ATM is located, then it is for the benefit of the employees. For example, you may see in the universities or in the colleges, one ATM may be there. So that ATM has been set up specifically for the students and for the teachers and other people of the university or the college. So that is called a worksite ATM. And cash dispenser is nowadays mostly it is not used. Cash dispenser, it is an ATM, but the limited functions are there for that cash dispenser. That's why it is called cash dispenser. It will only dispense cash, nothing else. Savita from Andheri, explain brown label ATM. Brown label ATM, as I told you, brown label ATM is owned by a service provider. It is owned by the service provider. The setting up of the ATM and all other infrastructure matter is owned by the service provider, and this is given to a bank, the sponsor bank. The sponsor bank only will be paying the rent, nothing else. And it is the responsibility of the sponsor bank for all cash management as well as for all the transactions. So this is what we call the brown label ATM. In the case of white label ATM, the ATM that is there, that is owned by the one entity, non-bank entity, that is owned by the non-bank entity. The cash that is there, only the bank will be doing only two things. First, management of the cash, and second, the transactions which are taking place. This is the responsibility of the bank, which we call the sponsor bank. So what are the benefits of the ATM to the customers and to the banks? Let us see. Benefits of ATM to the customers: provides 24 into 365 days a year service. So 24 into 365. Offers quicker and efficient services. Allows privacy in transactions. So you can enter ATM one at a time. You should not go, all of you should not go together. The privacy will not be there. So if you enter the ATM one at a time, do the transactions and come out, after that a second person enters. So allows privacy. It is error free. Allows to transact from any ATM irrespective of the base branch location. So if you have an ATM of State Bank of India, for example, you can use that ATM at any branch of the State Bank of India. So irrespective of the base branch means the branch at which you have opened your account. Next, offers flexibility of cash withdrawal at any time. Anytime you can withdraw cash. Enables funds transfer across branches in the linked account. Specific linked accounts are there where you can transfer, and offers anywhere banking facility. So these are the various advantages of ATMs to the customers. Anywhere banking facility. You need not carry cash. If you are traveling from one place to another, you need not carry cash. You can go to the other place, find the ATM and withdraw your cash. So it has become so convenient for the customers. And benefit of the ATMs to the banks: alternative to extended banking hours. Extension of banking hours is not necessary, because here the customer is getting a service through a service channel which is 24 into 7 into 365. Next, cheaper if transactions are large in number. Naturally, every ATM will be having an optimum level of transaction. If the level of transaction is less than that level, then the ATM will be running at a loss. That means the bank will be running at a loss for setting up the ATM. So there should be a large number of transactions in the ATM, then only the then only the setting up of the ATM will be viable, and then only the bank will be having some profit out of this setting up of the ATM. So large number of transactions, that is very essential. Then it is an alternative to opening new branches. You can set up an ATM at any part of the city instead of opening a new branch. New branch, as you have seen, bank branch is the costliest channel. So why open a bank branch? Instead you open an ATM and try to open accounts in that area. Customers need not go to the bank branch. Everything will be delivered to their house, whether it's the new account opening kit, whether it is the checkbook, whether it is the debit card or credit card, everything will be delivered at his house. And the ATM is nearby, just go to the ATM and use the ATM, that's all. So it is an alternative to opening new branches. Next, reduces operating expenses of the bank, naturally, because it is a less costly way of doing transaction, hence operating expenses are reduced. Avoids transportation of cash handling by the employees. Transportation of cash is not necessary now. So just if the ATM is loaded with the cash, that is sufficient. Next, can be located in any convenient location. You can locate at any convenient location where the customer usage will be more and thereby the bank will benefit. So the location is very essential. Location is very important. Whenever ATM is located, it should be located in such a place where the customer will be using the particular ATM. Increases market penetration. That means more and more people become aware of your bank, become aware of your banking products, and they will be slowly becoming customers of your bank. So increases market penetration. The market share which a bank has, that is increased. Relieves bank employees from routine transactions. This is a big benefit. Relieves the bank employees from routine transactions because banks are less crowded. So they need not service the customers. They have got sufficient time, and now because they have got sufficient time, they can go for different types of activities like selling and giving better customer service. And enables bank officials to upsell and cross-sell different products. Upselling and cross-selling. What is cross-selling? Cross-selling means selling different products to an existing customer. For example, a savings bank customer is there. If I sell a fixed deposit or an insurance or a mutual fund to that savings bank customer, then this is called cross-selling. That means I am selling different products to an existing customer. And what is upselling? Upselling. Upselling means selling an upgraded product. That means a customer who has come to open a recurring deposit, if I convince him and he opens a fixed deposit, that means I am upselling. So instead of opening a small account, he is opening a bigger account. Similarly for credit cards, instead of giving a normal credit card, I can give him an upgraded credit card. So this process is called upselling. Maintenance of ATMs is done by cash replenishment agencies and bank officials. Maintenance of ATMs. Maintenance of ATMs is a very important part of the entire ATM process. So ATMs have to be maintained, whether the ATMs are in proper working condition, whether sufficient cash is there, how many transactions take place in the ATM, and how much cash is required in a day. Depending on that, we have to fill up the cash at periodic intervals to see that there is sufficient cash in the ATM. Otherwise, what will happen? The customers will come, try to use the ATM, and no cash will come out. So this is customer service ultimately will be hampered. So ATM maintenance is very essential. ATM has to be loaded with cash from time to time as per requirements. If the number of transactions, if the number of withdrawals is very heavy, then you might have to load the ATM maybe twice or thrice a day. If the number of transactions or number of withdrawals are less, then maybe once a day also will do. But you have to ensure that the ATM has sufficient cash all the time. This ATM which is there, the transaction that takes place at the ATM, at the end of the day, at a particular time, every day, the EOD has to be done, end of day transaction has to be done. So whatever transactions are taking place, those will be reconciled and we adjust with the cash and see whether the cash tallies or not. This tallying of cash, reconciling has to be done on a daily basis. Then only the bank officials will be able to see that the cash is adjusted. Whatever transactions is done, yesterday's cash minus today's transaction, and what is the balance of cash left. So in this way, the cash will be adjusted. So cash replenishment agency, replenish, the word replenish means to fill up. So cash replenishment agencies, these are the outside agencies outsourced by the bank to do the ATM maintenance on behalf of the bank. So they will be filling up the ATM, they will be doing the EOD transactions, and as and when required, they will be loading the ATM. So these are called the cash replenishment agencies. Replenish, as I told you, means to fill up. Instead of the cash replenishment agencies, the bank officials themselves can do this job. So this will be in-house, done by the bank officials themselves. And if it is given to the cash replenishment agency, then it becomes an outsourced. You are outsourcing the job. Nipun from South Extension, sir, please tell us about cross-selling and upselling. Cross-selling, as I told you, cross-selling means selling selling different products to an existing customer. Selling different products to an existing customer. This is called cross-selling. That means, suppose there is a savings bank customer. If I sell him a fixed deposit, if I sell him a recurring deposit, if I sell him a mutual fund, if I sell him an insurance product, if I sell him a gold coin, if I sell him a demat account, that means what I am doing is I am cross-selling. Selling of different products to an existing customer. And upselling means selling an upgraded product. Upselling means selling an upgraded product. I'll give you an example. Suppose you go to buy a mobile. You go to a mobile shop and you want to buy a mobile. So the salesperson will first ask you, sir, what is your budget? Then you say, sir, my budget is 10,000 rupees, not more than 10,000. And what are the features you want? So you say, these are the features I want. So he will show you the mobile. Once you select the mobile and you are happy with the mobile, the salesperson will show you another mobile. Sir, this mobile has got 2 or 3 additional features and the price is only 1,000 rupees more. So you are also happy with that, and you decide, okay, I will buy that mobile for 11,000 rupees. So this is an example of upselling. The salesperson has sold a product which is costlier than what budget the customer had. So this is an example of upselling. Excuse me. What are the safety measures should be followed by the customers in the banks? Safety measures, very important. Safety, precautionary measures, these are very, very essential. You should take precautionary measures for each and every new product, new service channel, or any other new process which you are implementing. Precautionary measures, safety measures, these are very essential for banks. So as you can see on your screen, safety measures that should be followed. Number one, safety measures to be taken by the customers. First point, not to give PIN to anyone. Not to give PIN to anyone. Change the PIN regularly. Next, change the PIN immediately once you receive from the bank. Do not allow anyone to access the card or the PIN. In case of loss of card, report to the bank immediately. So these are the safety measures to be taken by customers. And what are the safety measures to be taken by banks? Use security aids such as access lock provided in the ATM. Access lock is provided. You have to insert your card, then only the door will open. Next, generate and dispatch cards and PIN separately. So you have to send the card separately and you have to send the PIN separately. Do not ask the customer to disclose their PIN, never. Bank should never ask the customer to disclose their PIN. Install closed door circuit cameras, CCTV, for monitoring within the ATM, very important. Closed door circuit TVs, circuit cameras have to be installed. And last is, record all the transactions with the date and time as precaution against any type of fraud or crime. So whatever recordings are done, whatever transactions are done in the ATM, date, time, amount, all these will be mentioned. And of course, naturally, the ATM card number. So there is an activity, ATM cash withdrawal. Let us see what is this activity about. So please read the activity. Please read the activity. Please read the activity. All of you, please read this activity, ATM with cash withdrawal activity. This is an incident that has happened in one of the banks. This is an incident that has happened in one of the banks. Mr. Situram Verma was given a debit card for new opening of account, new account to be opened with Modern Bank. He opened the account with a self-check of rupees 1 lakh. He got a statement of account at the end of the month and was shocked to find that there were some ATM transactions in the account that he was not aware of. He spoke with the branch manager. The following conversation took place between the branch manager and Mr. Verma. What is the transaction? What is the conversation? Please see the conversation. Mr. Verma walked into the branch and shouted at the employee. He said, "I would like to see the branch manager. My money has been taken away from the ATM." The BM came out of his cabin and was requested by Mr. Verma to come to his cabin. He said, "Sir, please be seated. Tell me, what is the problem? We will find a solution." Mr. Verma raised his voice in anger. He said, "You know what? Rupees 10,000 has been taken out from my account without my knowledge. This statement says ATM withdrawal, and I have not used the card for withdrawal. I want the money back now." The BM checked the transactions in the system. He said, "Mr. Verma, 2 ATM withdrawals of 5,000 rupees each have been done on the 10th and 12th of the month at the petrol pump. The withdrawals have happened at 10 p.m. Your ATM card has been used and the card number appears in the transaction. This is a system-generated transaction and picked up directly from the ATM. There is no chance that a wrong account has been debited." Mr. Verma says, "I have not gone to the ATM located at the petrol pump and I have not withdrawn any money." BM says, "I would like to check a few things with you so that we can solve this issue. Where did you keep your ATM card? Is it with you now? Where do you keep your ATM card? Is it with you now?" Mr. Verma replies, "The ATM card is there with me in my wallet." The BM asks, "Have you shared your PIN number with anyone? Have you shared your PIN with anyone?" Mr. Verma says no. The BM then asks, "Did you change your PIN as soon as you received the same from the bank?" Okay. The BM asks, "Have you shared the PIN with anyone?" Verma says no. "Did you change the PIN as soon as you received the same from the bank?" Mr. Verma replied, "I was advised to change the PIN and I changed it. See here, I have written it down on this paper. The card and the PIN are always in my wallet." The BM says, "This means that if someone took your wallet, they can have both the ATM card and the PIN and use the card. That is why we do not dispatch the card and the PIN mailer together. They are sent in 2 different couriers." Mr. Verma replied angrily, "Are you suspecting my friends and family? I am giving a complaint against the bank." The BM replies, "Mr. Verma, we have a camera placed in the ATM that records all the transactions. We will be able to show you the video and photo of the person who has used the card. I can arrange to show you the video tomorrow." Next day, Mr. Verma visited the branch to see the video. Okay. The BM shows the video and the close-up shot of the person who has used the card and asks Mr. Verma, "Are you able to identify this person?" Mr. Verma gets embarrassed and says, "This is my friend. I never imagined that he can do something like that. He has not mentioned anything to me." The BM reiterates, as I told you earlier, if someone had access to your card and PIN, the person can use your card to withdraw money from the ATM. You have to keep the ATM card safely. Also, please do not write down the PIN. Do not reveal it to anyone, not even to the bank employees. Keep changing the PIN at regular intervals. If your card is stolen, inform the bank immediately. Mr. Verma says, sorry for the trouble. I will speak to my friend about this. So, what is the conclusion? Please tell me, what is the conclusion? What is the conclusion? What is the conclusion? Please tell me quickly, raise your hand and tell me what is the conclusion? From this activity, what can you learn? From this activity, what can you learn? Please raise your hand quickly. From this activity, what is the moral of the story? What have you learned from this activity? What have you learned from this incident? No one is raising their hands. What is the matter? No one is raising their hands. What is the lesson that you have learned from this activity? What is the lesson that you have learned from this activity? Okay, Savita from Andheri. Never keep your PIN number in your wallet. Yes. Where do you keep your PIN then? Where do you keep your PIN? Savita, please tell me, where do you keep your PIN? Don't keep your PIN in your wallet. Where do you keep it? Prathamesh from Vashi says, do not reveal your PIN to anyone. Very good. Savita from Andheri, in your mind. Very good, excellent. So always keep the PIN in your mind. Don't write it down anywhere. Don't write it down in a piece of paper. Don't write down the PIN anywhere.